So Nasra.
Hello, hi. Hello everyone.
Chào anh
Chào.
Sao. Dạ, con xin hỏi có ai có câu hỏi để bắt đầu buổi pháp đàm không ạ? Anh Sao có muốn đặt câu hỏi gì không anh Sao? Không nghe được anh đang tắt mic.
Anh đang mở mà. Alo, alo, cô
Dạ.
nghe được anh?
Nghe được rồi anh.
Chắc để cho các bạn rồi anh sau một tí để anh chuẩn bị cô ạ.
Dạ.
Cảm ơn cô.
Dạ, em chưa thấy có ai cả. Vậy thì thôi em tạm được một câu hỏi. Vậy. So I think Mr. Zhao has a question, but he will ask his question later. In the meantime, I would like to ask a small question because we came across the term white Dhamma and black Dhamma, and I was looking up and found that the meaning is white Dhamma refer to Hiri and Uttapa, and black Dhamma refer to Ahiri and Anuttapa. So the question is, it's very rare. This usage is very rare. So why the Buddha use the term white and black Dhamma for those realities? What is the meaning of it? Thank you.
I think it's like in English we talk about black and white as good or pure and black as evil or harmful. So it's similar, black and white. I didn't know that it's just referring to Hiri and Ottappa. I thought it was referring to Kusala and Akusala karma, but I'm sure you're right. Perhaps Ajahn can add more.
There must be firm understanding of all dhammas, and we can talk about dhammas in different manners or different aspects. That's all. Keep on firm understanding of what is where is dhamma, and when we talk about this aspect, what is meant by dhamma, black or white, and so on. But they are all dhammas. Is black the color? See, the meaning of black is not white. White is clean and black is dirty. Is that right? Not as clean as white. All depends on understanding about the truth of Dhamma. We can use different words, but it can be understood what we mean.
In English, we sometimes say, oh, I'm in a black mood, or we also have an organization called Black Dog. It's when people are very depressed. So it's like, so I think it's just common expression referring to what is bad or harmful. And white, as Ajahn also said, clean, pure, the opposite. So different expressions to refer to kusala and akusala.
And what is important? What about when there is understanding and when there's no understanding? See, it's just comparison. dark and light. So is it dark now? Oh, it's very bright. If there is no understanding of Dhamma at all, can there be the understanding of what we said? Like black and white, dark and light?
And I don't know that it is so rare. I was just reminded of a sutta, Vitara Sutta and Anguttara, which is about black and white karma. That's what I was thinking of, or sometimes translated as bright and dark. So it doesn't matter whether we use black and white or bright and dark, but it's just different ways, different terms to talk about now, kusala and akusala now. Understanding is so bright, so light, so white, and ignorance is so black, so dark, so harmful. And when they bring their results, what is black brings harmful results, and what is pure or good brings good results. So I think it's not too complicated, just about different dhammas now, expressed in different ways.
Thank you. I think the reference that I came across come from the Anguttara Nikaya as well. Yeah, because it just referred to the Hiri and Ottappa and Ahiri and Ottappa. So I wasn't sure why that was used in only for those. Anyway, I believe Mr. Zhao is ready for your question, right? Thank you. Mời anh ạ.
Yes, I always gratitude about the Achan teaching about reality, especially about the reality that's so close at this time, but it's gone without any understanding. It's so helpful to me. And as I understanding the understand at level parijati is understand at thinking about the ultimate reality, not direct experience the reality. So my question is, when we said about understand as parijati, we said about think, but think, the object of thinking is the ultimate reality like chitta, cetasika, or rupa, not think about people and things. For example, Kunsara on the screen. So my question is, as understanding about, for example, hardness. When we said hardness, a characteristic, so hardness is the word or a characteristic. So I confused on this. When we said the characteristic, we have to use the word hardness, cool, or hard, or anything else. So this just a word. So when we consider on this, we use as arizati. I mean, thinking about the word, say about the characteristic hardness. That's what I want to say. So do you understand anything about what I said? And help me to bring it up to Achan and every friend. Thank you.
Do you need to translate, or they have translated already?
Yeah, they already.
Oh, okay. So now hardness is touched. We all know this. And we use the word hardness. We use the word touching or experiencing hardness to convey a meaning. That's all. So these are words, terms that are used to convey the meaning. The hardness, what is touched, doesn't need any words at all at the moments of experiencing the hardness. No words at that moment. It's just the reality itself that is touched, the hardness itself. But in order to discuss and consider and to begin to learn the truth, we have to use these words to convey the meaning, to point to just what is experienced at this very moment, just the hardness, just the characteristic of that particular reality. We can use the words, we can repeat, oh, at this moment there is a touching of hardness, a touching of heat. It may be with no understanding at all, just repeating what has been heard. So we can't say that whenever we use these words that it's pariyatti understanding or that there's any understanding at all, because the understanding is not the words. So it depends when listening or when repeating whether there is any understanding of the characteristic of that reality being referred to. Just like when Tam was talking about Hiri and Otapa, we can talk about black and white and different words, different terms. It means we're looking at ways of conveying the meaning about the difference between Hiri and Ahiri, Otapa and Anotapa. But it doesn't mean when we read or hear these words that there's any understanding of the reality. It just depends. We cannot say for another, we cannot say, oh, now everyone has more understanding. So we're using the words to just get a little closer to the reality, which, as you say, is so very close here and now. So at the moment of touching what is experienced now, this is the point. And to be the beginning of understanding, it is the beginning of understanding the nature of that Dhamma, the Paramatta Dhamma, as you referred to, that is experienced here and now, the world at this very moment. So we used words to discuss the truth about what is real. But when we get lost in words and think the words and the story about the words is the understanding, then it's not right. Is this
And
the right answer for your question?
yes, and thank you. And I can say something to explain after I hearing your explain. For example, now I touch. So if I consider on the hardest as paramatha, it's not microphone. It's not touch microphone, but I'm looking for the hardest during the touching. Something wrong, Sarah?
Something wrong because I am looking for the hardness. I'm trying to experience the hardness. So it's very subtle because ditthi, I, comes in so very quickly. So hardness is touched, but so quickly it's I trying to experience hardness, trying to find hardness, the reality that we know is so very close. So, like when newcomers come, we say, oh, touch the microphone, what is experienced, to begin to understand it is just hardness, no microphone there.
Yeah.
But as we know, Ditasava can come in so quickly. So as soon as I'm trying to experience or something is experienced as hardness, it's not the understanding of Dhamma.
But I'm not trying to experience hardness, but I consider what hardness is. So
only Panya can know at this moment whether it is understanding or whether it is I experiencing or I touching. So it's not just the words that are conveyed, but the meaning behind. And by the time we say that sounds like ditthi because it sounds like I'm thinking about or trying to experience, it's all gone. Different moments, maybe moments of understanding now. So it can be moments of wise considering, moments of understanding, and in between, I is there trying or wondering or thinking, how is this? What is this? Doubts too. Just different dhammas arising and passing away. And in truth, none belonging to you or me or anyone else.
So back to the Achan's question long times ago, during the Bangkok discussion, when Achan asked there Hunsara, but no Hunsara, so I want to back to this example for help me to understand more about the thing to the you something or the conventional world and think about in ultimate reality or the Pali term you just use paramatha. So in paramatha they are not hunsara, and in conventional world they are hunsara. And I would like to know about the purpose when Ajahn asked the question. Hunsara.
Okay, it's a Jan's question, so I'll let her answer your question about it. Ajahn, could you follow his question?
Yes. Just about the truth of what is there. So I think that if there is some question to consider about, it's moment of understanding what is true and what is not true. For example, right now, is there any hardness to understand it?
Yes, there is.
So without touching, can hardness appear?
No, Ajahn.
So who touch, or it's a reality which arises to experience hardness, which touch the body sense, the truth. What is there just in that very moment? There is hardness right now. it's there. But without the reality which experiences it, we don't touch the chair, we don't touch the box, no hardness appearing. But at moment of touching, no matter who or what, it's there. Hardness only. Is that true? We cannot find hardness anywhere, only at moment of touching. Is that right?
Yes.
So it's what is real. Hardness is real at moment of touching, right? It's there
Yes.
for sure. So it's a reality. Nobody can change its characteristic to be sweet or hot, but it's hard. A reality. It's true. It's real. It's the ultimate truth because it's there. No one can make it go away or not appear at all because it's there. And no one can make it arise at all. Is that right? It's there already. This is the beginning to understand what is taken for the world or our world, a moment of our world appearing. To understand in truth each word of the Buddha from out of his enlightenment, what is there only when it appears, but when it does not appear, it's not there. Because each moment, whatever arises, falls away instantly, so very rapidly, very quickly. Is that right? This moment, no hardness appearing because what is seen is there, and sound is there. The moment of sound appearing, no hardness is there at all. Just learn about what is there in life and what is life. Moment of experiencing different objects because of different conditions. No one can make it rise. It's now already arisen, right? Heart is there already. Sound appears now and gone. Just learn about the nature, the truth of what is there as no one at all, because hardness cannot be anyone or anything at all. It's just hard when it's touched. That's all. That's all. It's gone. It's not there anymore. In samsara, no matter what life, it's gone, never to return, never to arise again. Is that true? Just learn about what is there in life. It's not permanent at all. Just only when it's there, appearing. That's all. And in truth, whatever arises falls away so very quickly. Even we take it for, it appears now hard, very hard, but in truth, arising and falling away many moments because there are seeing, hearings in between. See, and is this the world just breaking all the time? Arises and falls away, no return at all. Just learn to understand that life is not permanent. There must be death for sure, and everything which is there remembered in this life all gone. Just learn to understand that actually they are all dhammas, and it's not just to be learned or heard. It has to be directly experienced because it's so real. Heart is real. It's there. But at moment of hearing, it's gone. Is that right? Beginning to understand what is there in split seconds, just arising and falling away unknowingly all the time. But the nimitta, the shape or form of that which appears with different colors or different sound and so on, condition many idea about different things as something all the time. For example, only hardness, no matter it's long or short, the shape of a chair or a bed, when it's touched, it's hard, but when it's seen, it's not hard. Is that right? Different moment, different reality in life, from moment to moment, unknown until the word of the truth is there to consider the nature of it. That is it true? Hardness is only there when there is touching, and that which touches only experience hardness. Nothing can experience hardness, only the moment of touching. And touching is a reality. It arises to experience no matter what by conditions. While one is fast asleep, where am I? Where are things around? Where are people in the world? Nothing at all. Is that true? If nothing arises, the world is just like that. Nothing appears. But who can know that that is a reality which keeps on arising and falling away all the time from moment of birth, non-stop by conditions. Without understanding, there is the idea of the experiencing is I all the time. I sleep, I wake up, I see, I think, but it's conditioned moment, from moment to moment. Is that right? Never return at all. No birth moment because it's gone. No seeing is because it's gone. So life is just a moment, arising and falling away. Sunyata, never to return at all. Is that true? There must be death for sure. No one at all. After death, not this person anymore. But death condition the next moment. And what condition the next moment to be? Akama, one deed that has been done. Who knows which one will condition moment of birth of next life and go on, sleeping, waking, seeing, hearing, on and on until death again. No memory about previous life, just like no memory about what is there 20 years ago. Not dead yet, but all gone from moment to moment. Just learn to let go, clinging to that which has gone, never to arise again. But ignorance is there, moment of the to the next moment, as something just like now, just like now. No understanding of the truth until learning about the truth, the ultimate truth. Can anyone change hardness to be smell? Impossible. It's there already hard. So who can change its characteristic? No one at all. No matter what. It's conditioned to be there just in a moment and then gone. Is that true? Otherwise, there will not be tomorrow. It's just now, all the time. But it's gone and gone and gone and gone, on and on to be tomorrow, to be next year, and to be next life at the end of this life. See, we just talk about hardness, but not only hardness is now appearing, different realities by different conditions. All are dhammas, and dhamma means whatever is real, and whatever is real has its characteristic to be known. The sweetness, the spicy taste is not hard, and so on. Learn to understand more and more what are there in life, to let go the idea of self, because no one can find any self in seeing. See, hearing, it's gone. Where's the self? Where's I who hear? Impossible. Gone. Everything. Just learn to have confidence of the truth. And that is the letting go, clinging with ignorance, not understanding the truth of it, of whatever now appears. No understanding yet enough to let go. Something there, because in truth, nothing there, because it appears and disappears instantly. Is that true? Just learn to understand what is true in each moment. Is there I or something, or it's only that which can be seen only, which can be heard only and then gone? Is that true?
Yeah. And so we learn not try to experience something, but to confident in understand about the no me, no one, just
Until,
re- yeah,
until it show up, appears well to be
yeah,
known as it is,
yeah.
not
That's
like
my
now.
question, Ajahn. Until it's enough condition to appear as well. So from now to there, how to have the confidence on this?
It appears as usual as it is, but no understanding at all.
Yeah, yeah,
That's the meaning of it does not appear well as it is, arising
yeah.
and falling away. Is
So our understanding very little, and we have to patient to continue on this way to hear and consider and learn more about the reality. Ajahn.
yeah, only that which appears can be known. That's why how far it is to be moment of understanding the truth or begin to consider the nature of that which has no shape and form at all, just experiences, arises, experiences what is there, all gone instantly. Is it true? When it's true, it can be realized, but not with ignorance and clinging and try so hard to experience it. Because no matter how much the idea of no self, no me, just the idea is not enough. It has to understand that what can be known is so very, very close now. But no one approaches it because no understanding that when and where it's seeing, see, when it appears, nowhere, because it sees, no thought about the place or the moment, just that sees and understand the seeing right now. That is not that which is seen. Be truthful to the truth. No attention to the reality which sees or experience that which is seen, because no condition to think about it. But the more hearing, listening to the truth is the moment to begin again and again and again, little by little, by conditions, to attend to the characteristic of the reality which sees or which arises and experience different object at different moment. That's all in a day in life. So no matter what, right understanding can study, can understand the truth, of what is there as it is. Even it falls away instantly, but it's there as nimitta to be studied, to begin to attain to that characteristic. It takes quite a long time. How long? The Buddha to be, develop his parami until the moment of enlighten the truth of seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting right now. So he thought about the path leading to the development of understanding that which is hidden years and years ago with the idea of self and something all the time. In truth, the black and white, see, quite different. The black cannot be white and the white cannot be black. So the truth now does not show up as it is, arising and following all the time, never to return at all. But since it's there now appearing, there can be moment of beginning to consider it, not I anymore, but the understanding of the truth is real. It's now, it experiences, not I, no me, no one. It's only that which is conditioned to arise to see. It's just the conditioned moment, from moment to moment, from life to life. And this is the path, the subtle path. Who knows that it's now letting go of ignorance and attachment so very, very little, but without understanding the truth more and more. How can it be known or realized, show up, to appear well as it is? Little by little, stage by stage, begin again and again and again by conditions. That's why we keep on talking about the reality which is now appearing. That without understanding what is there appearing, it's impossible to understand, to realize the truth, because the truth is there, hidden, just at that very moment. And right and understanding begin to open up what is there to be known as it is. So understand what it's meant by parami, patience, satya, adhidana, nekama, all are there, little by little, unknowingly, like holding the knife's handle. Who knows, each moment of touching, how much it wears away. Who knows, until right understanding is there, more than before, little by little, more attention, and that moment is just the path which let go of the idea of no importance or something that it's not to be known, just live and so on. From moment to moment, begin to see the precious moment, the understanding. It can develop at moment when what is there and learning about the truth of it, understanding it little by little until it condition moment of understanding what is there as hardness. See, as usual, as before, nobody can change the characteristic of hardness at all. But right understanding begin to understand it little by little until nothing is there, only hardness is there. With more understanding, a little more, until nothing is there with hardness. So it appears well. Is this the path? Is this the only way? to understand. What is the object of understanding? It's there, anatta. No one makes it arise at all. It's gone unknowingly. So learn about the truth of it. Different ones, not all together in a moment.
Yeah.
Is it now?
Yeah. Yes, Acha. And until the time the hadiths appear well, so we shouldn't imagine about what hadith is. For example, when hadiths appear well, totally different the hadith, I think about it at this moment. Is it right? Help me to understand, Achan.
What is different?
When it's appear well, it's just a characteristic. And
Hardness is hardness, no matter how much it is, big
yeah,
or small, very tiny or very big. It's hard.
yeah,
But understanding it as not anything, not my hand, not my leg, not
yeah,
flower.
yeah,
There's no change in the Dhamma itself. So
yeah,
visible object is just the same now, whether there's no understanding, a little understanding, or very clear understanding. Hardness is just the hardness, the softness, or the hardness, or the extreme hardness, just as it is, without any understanding, with a little understanding, or with very firm understanding. So the Dhamma is just how it is. Life is just as it is.
yeah,
The only difference is the understanding. And as the understanding develops, the confidence develops with it. If you ask, as you did, how can I have more confidence in it?
yeah,
Or how can I have more confidence? It sounds like it's for me, my confidence. It sounds like you are looking for a way, a method to have
yeah,
more confidence. This is not the understanding of Dhamma, it's the opposite, because it's I trying to have more confidence, trying to understand more clearly. So the path is about letting go, just letting
yeah,
the understanding develop naturally, the confidence developing naturally, or kinds of kusala developing naturally. Otherwise, the I that's so keen to get a result hinders the development. And your question about when Ajahn says, oh, is Kunsera there? Like she might say to me at the beginning of the conversation, oh, is Jonathan here? Is Jonathan coming? Then I know we're just talking conventionally, and I'll say, oh, he'll just be a few minutes. And we know what we're talking about. We know we're just using conventional language. But if we're talking about dhammas and you are asked, is Kunsera there? Of course, we're talking about Paramatta Dhammas. So in truth, no Kunsera at all, no Jonathan, because it's only visible object seen, only sound heard. So even the Buddha would use conventional language and say, oh, Ananda is here, or so and so is here, or this is so and so's bowl for eating, or now we're in Kusinara. This is just conventional language, but without any misunderstanding. So life carries on as normal. We use conventional language. The realities are just the same. So the difference is just in the understanding which develops from all that listening and wise considering, like now.
Yeah. And as you understand about me, so I'm not looking for other way to try to experience the reality. But my question just a little bit confusing when I think about hardness. Hardness, you just and Ajahn just said to me, is a reality. We can understand or not understand about them. Is a reality like this. With their characteristic not change. But as I understand, when we experience directly about the characteristic of happiness, it's not like anything we talk about the characteristic of happiness like we already do. That make me confused.
So I think when we talk about the characteristic of hardness,
Yeah.
I mean, any words are just words, just used
Yeah.
for convenience.
Yeah.
But the understanding gets a little closer to appreciating what it is, like now when touching. Just at that moment, there is the world of hardness appearing just as it is. Sometimes, like touching my shirt, very soft. Sometimes, when touching the hand or the computer, it's much harder, just as it is, but not firm and clear enough when the understanding is just a little.
So, I would like to say thank you to Ajahn and Hunsara about your help. I always gratitude about your help. And I think now spend time to other people after Hun Jonathan say anything. Please moving on, Hun Jonathan.
We appreciate your questions.
I just wanted to ask if your question is about the difference between pariyati and patipati, direct understanding. Is that what you're asking about?
Not really, Hun Jonathan.
Okay, I'll leave it then. Thanks.
Vâng, cảm ơn anh Giao. Yes, so the discussion yesterday, in the English discussion, I think there was something about the parami, and Achan said that when there's just little virya, it's not kanti, but when there's a lot of virya, then kanti is there. So I was thinking, so then what is the difference between virya parami and kanti parami? How to understand the difference between these two?
So I think they are referring to different aspects of virya. So virya parami, often the examples are given about the great courage, such as for the Buddha in the endeavors to become a Sammasambuddha. So the great fortitude, the great effort, the great bravery, for example. This is virya parami, whereas the kanti parami is referring to the aspect of patience, the great endurance required, the great patience to understand and put up with whatever comes one's way. So just different aspects of virya, but perhaps Ajahn can add more.
Is there any difference between Panya and Panyinsi and Anyinsi?
I don't know the last two terms, Ajahn.
Paninsi is actually the Thai. It's Indriya, the Indriya of Panya. Yes.
Okay.
So the degree of Panya.
And the last three Indriya, see,
The last three at moments of enlightenment.
Sotapanna, Sotapatipala to Arahatamaka, and then Arahatapala. See, is there any difference or the same?
Has to be different, Ajahn.
Even it is Panya, like Viriya, and when it's small, endure, not non-stop, still keep on. See, that is different from just the moment of Viriya as stretching out one's hand or doing something. It's much more than that to understand the truth. So without Viriya at level of Khanti Parami, some people stop, give up, too difficult and so on. See, that's why we learn to understand different levels. The Panya, which is not Panjinsi, is not that which is Anjinsi. See, it cannot be that. That's why it has to be only that. When there is the Virya in almost every moment in a day, see, unknown, it's so very, very little. It can arise with kusla or akusla. But what about that which is panjinsi, arising with satinsi, but it's not as that last three enlightened states. That's why no matter how much different from moment to moment in samsara, there are 52 cetasikas, right?
Yes, Ajahn.
So what about someone's viriya and someone's khanti? Different, right? Just the degree of Dhamma, we can understand the difference level of Panya. It cannot be the same, but it's still Panya.
I think a lot of period is counted that makes sense and it's very helpful indeed. But the only thing I was just thinking about is like then period parami in what context or in what sense we call it virya parami um, instead of kanti parami, because it has to be also virya in both cases. And
What
just ordinary virya, is it and
in
is it
in a day,
parami?
yeah. Even daily life, can it be known? Moment of Riya and moment of Khanti. Even it's so hard, so difficult, one does not give up, never give up. Different from very little Viriya, daily life. And Panya in daily life. And Panya at moment of Vipassana. And Panya at moment of enlightenment. Can it be the same? But without Panya, from the very beginning developed, how can it attain such degree of higher panya, to the highest panya? Otherwise, there are more than 52 Jetasikas. Is that right?
There- we know that there are only 52 Chetasikas. So it seems that there are two different aspects of virya, and like Sarah mentioned earlier, like the courage
Mhm.
aspect and then the patience aspect.
Is it easy, even just begin to attend to the characteristic of that which experiences an object?
Not easy at all, Ajahn.
So, with avirya, can it be known?
Without
And
it cannot. Even with it, it cannot if there's not enough understanding.
and when it's khanti, no matter what situation is there, never give up. But virya is general at any moment, see, which is not level of understanding higher and higher. And what is nekama parami? See, because each Jetasika has different degrees, that's why different terms for the degrees of Dhamma, of a Jetasika. Sati is not Satindriya at all, see. So can there be the moment of daily life not doing akusala deeds, that level of sati is not satipatthana, it's not satindriya, it's not pochanka. Different words for different. Say not never be the same at all. So how can we use the one word or one term for all different states? What level is panya now?
Pariyati level, Ajahn.
Intellectual understanding. Is it right?
Yes,
Not yet Panjindiriya, not Pala yet. All I think that everyone knows that Kusala is better than Akusala, but how strong confidence to do good, how firm any moment of Kusala, do it instantly. Otherwise, it's moment of Akusala, no matter it's too hot or too cold, not too lazy to listen or to consider the truth and so on. They will stop moment of kusala. Is that
And
frame?
And I think when we read about the paramis, it includes from the beginning of the paramis, the beginning of Virya Parami, which develops with understanding, to the very great Virya, the very great courage, as shown by the Bodhisattva. So it includes all degrees. So it's quite subtle understanding the point, because Kanti seems to usually refer to great patience, not just ordinary daily patience, but it has to develop as well. So this is why it seems like there are different aspects of virya, different degrees. So is this correct, Ajahn, that we can talk about the virya parami from just a little right effort, developing with right understanding, to great effort, great courage, as in the examples shown in the text referring to the Bodhisattva?
And other aspect between patience and efforts in same reality, Virita. So I think yesterday we already discussed a little bit about it. So Kunsara, maybe you have our Vietnamese audience know about this. Thank you.
So usually when we think about effort in daily life, making an effort, like getting dressed, making the meal, going shopping, listening to the Zoom discussion when we're a bit tired, usually it's all about I, and usually it's akusala virya that's being referred to. So when it's kusala virya, it is the virya that arises with kusala chittas. Actually, virya arises with almost every chitta, all except 16 of the ahetuka rootless chittas. So most of the day, virya is akusala, the patience, the effort, whatever we want to say, is akusala, because it's making an effort to do something, being patient when tying the shoelaces or doing something which is not so pleasant. It's akusala virya mostly. So only when there are moments of kindness or generosity or understanding is there kusala effort. At moments of understanding, it is kusala virya, no thought of I doing anything. So there's never any need to I make an effort, because virya is there anyway. So there can be a little more understanding of the difference between akusala virya and kusala virya. If one focuses on an object or thinks that the understanding has to be in a special place, akusala virya at those times, and it may be very strong akusala virya, strong focusing on an effort, ignoring outside circumstances, strong virya, but it's all akusala, because it's with akusala understanding, akusala concentration, akusala everything. So when we're talking about virya as developing as a parami, it has to be the kusala effort that develops with understanding. And the kanti is the strong patience that develops with understanding, not I being patient, but the strong patience to accept and understand what is conditioned at this moment. Patience to understand dosa as dosa, a dhamma, not my anger, for example, whatever is conditioned, not trying to experience anything else. And Ajahn may like to talk about it, but we also read about the kanti jnanas, so the patience that develops even at moments of vipassana jnana. So it different degrees of kanti. So it has to develop on. And it's not just developing the understanding and the patience, and not just developing until there's clear understanding. Even then, on and on and on. Even the arahats, the understanding continues to develop. So the job is not finished. So it continues on and on.
Thank you.
Without kanti, can there be the understanding of saying right now?
No. Yeah.
And the way to help the other to understand Dhamma, is there no obstacle at all? Or so many difficult obstacles? Some people try to stop me from sharing the words of the Buddha. Is that obstacle? But nobody can stop me. Kanti. And at moment of talking, there is viriya now too, to think about the truth and to try to help the understanding and so on. See, if there's no kanti, I will stop. But no one can stop me at all. Panya, right understanding to help the others, no fear of anything at all. So we can understand hardness, no matter mentally and bodily, not to give up the understanding of the teaching or helping the others to understand the teachings. The truth is most precious than anything at all in life. It's that kanti. When someone talk badly, I pay no attention. It's useless. It's rubbish. It wastes the time talking about Dhamma, sharing Dhamma. That is the most precious moment in life. Is that not kanti? And now we are talking like this, it is viriya. See? But when someone do something like obstacles, it needs kanti, not giving up at all, no matter what is there, anytime. A little bit understanding, kanti, very firm, confidence, courage to go on, to attain the most precious moment for everyone.
And we're
And it,
so very fortunate that over all these decades and decades, Ajahn, that when anyone tries to stop you speaking and there are different difficult obstacles and people speak badly and call you names and so on, that you just ignore it and carry on sharing the Dharma. Very strong kanti, strong kanti parami. So we're so very fortunate. Anumodana.
so we can help.
Very fortunate indeed. And given that without listening from Ajahn, we have no other, we cannot hear the Dhamma explained in the same way. It's
For
really
most of us, it's so easy when we are criticized or people make it difficult or call names to take it personally or think about keeping quiet, but to persevere no matter what the obstacles, no matter what is said, no matter how strong the opposition, no matter how much akusala is used. So it takes a lot of khanti and patience to continue. Such a wonderful example for us all.
I'm so pity when I learned that people now are more interested in understanding the teachings of the Buddha.
Yes, it's wonderful. A source for great joy. Like amongst our friends here in Vietnam.
And everyone has such parami too, little by little, until the moment of enlightenment. Dhamma is so very subtle
Đời
without.
cao phết nhỉ, thâm cao phết nhỉ. Chắc thông ở chồng.
please carry on, Achan.
Without parami, no way to realize the truth. And that is khanti, so patient. By conditions, understanding is the core of all kinds of parami.
And Zao, no one can have the patience or make the patience grow. It develops with that understanding. Without that understanding, there cannot be the khanti, the patience to persevere no matter what obstacles, because of the strong understanding and confidence in what is the truth and what is most precious in life. So never anyone to do anything. The paramis develop together with right understanding of the path, of the truth now. More and more patience, more and more confidence.
Yeah.
And this moment is moment of developing parami. And not only one parami. And this is a little more understanding of Piriya Parami and Khanti Parami, right?
Yes, Achan. And yesterday you also spoke about Ditti and Mana. I found that was very helpful too, and probably you can say a little bit more about it as well.
All Dhammas are so very subtle Even is that right now, it needs more learning, considering to be truthful to the truth, little by little, to understand a little more. That's all. In a day, beginning to just think about or consider whether there is moments of mana unknown at moment of speech and deeds, see, all they are unknown, and no attention to try to know, but the understanding of the truth by conditions. That is the only khanti, to not try to experience this or that particularly, but whatever is their understanding of it. If not, why think about the other thing? Otherwise, there can never be the understanding of what is there right now at all. And this is a certain point of the development of understanding. Khanti is there enough not to try to go wrong, to try to do something, try to find a way, not at all. Only understanding little by little and be truthful that it's not enough at all. Who does not know that seeing is a reality which experiences an object, but at this moment, no understanding of seeing. That's why how strong Khanti is there to begin to listen again, consider again, begin again, and on and on. Just move that which is so tricky, very hard to just touch in order to take it out, because all depends on conditions. Khanti Parami. If the mana does not show up, who can know it? Even is there. And even Titi, wrong understanding, only Panya can understand when it's so very subtle. That's why Panya understand more subtle, more subtle, more subtle, until it begins to experience the object a little clearer, on and on as vipassana jnana, see, Khanti Parami. And no one can do, it's nothing to be done at all, just to understand. Only right understanding, letting go, can let go, wrong understanding, attachment and all kinds of akusa, gradually, little by little, unknowingly, until time comes, life begins to change some moment, not all moments yet. Khanti Parami. When we
So,
talk, yeah,
yes, yes, I am thinking about mana, because mana is still there. It still arises when there is already the eradication of ditthi. So mana is conditioned by moha and not by ditthi, isn't it?
it arises with loba. I see, by way of craving, tanha, by way of ditthi, wrong understanding, or by way of mana. Even there's no wrong understanding at all, sotapanna, but mana is there. Until it show up little by little to be known to panya only. It's so subtle that only panya begin to understand the different characteristics of each reality. Otherwise, it cannot be known whether it's this kind of reality or that kind of reality. Like I with clinging, or I with wrong view, or I with mana. At moment of talking, getting angry, see, the sound can be known whether it's with mana, and since it arises in false way so very quickly, that's why all are mixed up. And thinking that at moment of angry, being angry, the sound is different. But with mana too, but not at the same moment because mana cannot arise with anger. See, life are all mixed up by different jitasikas arising so very quickly, one at a time. That's why there is misunderstanding about ditthi, about mana and dosa. Because at moment of mana, it does not appear, but the dosa is there, appearing. It seems like together with mana, but in truth, mana cannot arise with dosa because dosa doesn't like the object, but mana arises to because it clings to something, rank or wealth or whatever, or knowledge or unknown. So it conditions mana. Until it appears, until panya is there, begin to understand the subtle reality by conditions, patient, not to do anything, not to wish or to wait. See, even not to wait, all by conditions, understanding what is there now, otherwise nothing can be understood because it's not there yet. Kanti parami, more subtle, kanti.
And we can see those are good examples. For example, if one is criticized or there are obstacles, and if mana arises, conditioning dosa that follows so quickly, we can see no kanti parami. at those times at all. So when there's mana, there's no metta, there's no kanti, no kusala virya at all. But it's conditioned. There can be understanding of it. It's just another dhamma arising with lobha. And we don't appreciate often the dosa that follows is because of the mana, the clinging to worldly conditions, hearing pleasant sounds, and so on. When someone is impolite, then mana is there. They're with speaking, they're putting this obstacle in the way, but it's not kanti with just the sound that is heard. So it's all daily life that we're talking about. The paramis, the virya, the kanti, the mana, the lobha. Anytime. None of them belonging to Ajahn or you or me or anyone else. Usually we think about this person or that person's mana or dosa or kanti, but this is not the study of dhammas, not the understanding of dhammas, not the patience with what is conditioned at this moment.
And just,
please go on, Jonathan.
sorry, I was going to say, just on the point of mana and the idea of self. As we know, the stream mantra Sotapanna has eradicated all wrong view. And so he or she understands that what we take for an individual are just citta, cetasika, and rupa. But still, there is the tendency to think of one's own citta, cetasika, rupa in relation to other sets of citta, cetasika, rupa, and to compare or to judge the one against the other. And that is a tendency that does not rely on having an idea of a self, but just the idea that there are different streams of citta, cetasika, rupa, each of them being discrete and constituting what we take to be an individual. So that's why mana is not necessarily associated with the idea of a self. And in fact, the two ideas of mana cannot arise together with wrong view of self.
And when someone like the Buddha, for example, he spoke about himself and as the enlightened being and the teacher of the three worlds. Of course, there's no mana there, so it's not comparing itself, but it's just like the
Statement of fact.
Yeah, it's just a statement of fact. And so what is the mana? It's just it's a flying the flight when thinking about oneself as I think that's a very subtle point to look at.
And same with the paramis, subtle points, whether we say how we describe the virya parami, the kanti parami, and the degrees and the different distinctions and so on. In the end, we're talking about the qualities that develop with understanding, no matter what the terms or the labels. And we can see that patience with whatever Dhamma appears is much greater when there is more understanding. And in the beginning, very little patience to even hear about the truth, let alone for the understanding to develop. It's very easy to get hung up on the terms and the details and forget about the understanding of the reality now.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much, Ajahn Anutanaka.